Welcome to our Kouture lesson on sketching. Sketching is more than just drawing. It's the blueprint that transforms your creative visions into tangible concepts. Throughout this lesson, we'll explore why sketching is essential for design development and the steps involved. Sketching plays an important role in your Kouture design. It's the first step from idea to reality, letting you visualize and refine concepts before creating the final piece. Sketching isn't about creating a masterpiece, it's about confidently expressing your ideas. Everyone can sketch, so find your unique style and embrace the process as you develop your Kouture masterpiece. I'm going to show you how you can use our Kouture mannequin templates to plan and sketch some fashion illustrations. You can print out our templates or digitally download them if you prefer to work using an iPad or computer to make your illustrations. The absolute basics you need for these drawings are a pencil, a fine tip pen, or colouring pencils. When drawing lines for your illustrations, make them as bold and expressive as possible. This not only makes your drawing more dramatic, but also makes it easier to visualize your final shape. As you'll see as the drawing progresses, I'm not adding a lot of texture since it can be overwhelming in an illustration. Sometimes it's great to just add an illusion of texture to still give you the overall feel for the end product of a garment. Before I used long sweeping lines to show movement and flow in the garment, and now I'm going in with the finer details, drawing shorter, more precise lines. This combination makes the illustration come to life. By emphasizing the key features, it helps me achieve my overall vision. The final design is stylish, cohesive, and true to the initial concept. There are so many different mediums you can use. As you can see in this drawing here, I just used acrylic paint to create the overall shape and added a few lines to show the vines for a headpiece. It still gives you a feeling of what the garment will look like in the end. Adding texture is another great way to create an illusion without going into a lot of detail. Here I just used baking paper to create a 3D effect for the skirt. Similarly here, I showed a metallic garment using aluminium foil. You can even use this technique working with your final material. In the finished piece for this garment, I illustrated stained glass effect panels in the skirt by using watercolours. Another option here is to use magazine cuttings. Another way to use watercolours is to create a floral effect by using dots of watercolour paint and then going in later with a fine tip pen and adding in finer details. You can add texture to the drawing afterwards using magazine cuttings, paper, or your final material. Here for this floral piece, I glued down dried flowers to give it a more 3D effect. If you want to create a more detailed garment, you can use watercolours, colouring pencils like I have here, or just regular markers. The important thing when you make a more detailed drawing is, as you can see here, all the details weren't completely added, but it still gives you an illusion of the texture that will be on the final garment. Creating a more detailed drawing like this can give you a vision of an overall completed look. There is no right or wrong way to create a fashion illustration. It can be as detailed or as non-detailed as you like. But it's important to remember that making bold, expressive lines will always give you a great finish. That concludes our sketching session. Get out your pencils and let's bring your ideas to life.